Subscribe to the FocusTalk TV YouTube channel. Follow at FocusTalk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the FocusTalk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis. Why? Because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things in and around our community, as well as across the nation. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Believe it or not, our children are not our tomorrow. They are our right now. And with competent and dedicated leadership, we will be fine as far as the future is concerned, contrary to popular belief. Now, I've got some people in the studio who are solidifying that particular thought pattern today. Joining me in the studio is Mr. Christian Lewis, Mr. Jermaine Anderson, and Mr. Corey Carr. They are all members of I Am a Gentleman. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing well. Good evening.
Fantastic.
Good. Thank you so very much for coming out and sharing a little information about who you are and what you do. Jermaine, let's start with you. Give me some information about who you are, what you do, and I Am a Gentleman.
Well, I'm Jermaine Lawrence Anderson, and I have the pleasure of serving as the executive director of the I Am a Gentleman Foundation, which is a male youth leadership development foundation here in Chicago. And we're just excited to be here. But our foundation primarily serves young men ages 14 to 21. We serve them with the various arrays of curriculum and programs that we offer throughout the calendar year to really help them become marketable, productive citizens of Chicago.
Okay. All right. Now, how did the organization start?
You know, in my prior career, I spent many years as a full-time public speaker. And, you know, some of the events that I had the opportunity to speak at were graduation ceremonies across the country. And it was amazing to see as many graduation ceremonies that I spoke at, how many young men that looked like me and other young men from minority communities would make it to graduation day, but they really did not have the tools and the resources necessary beyond graduation day. Wow. So we started our foundation as a way to give back with, you know, education, with resources and tools, again, to help make young men, you know, productive citizens and marketable in the workforce.
Okay. All right. Christian?
Yes, sir.
Give me some information about who you are and what you do.
So my name is Christian Lewis. I am the community liaison, which basically means I am the legs and the hands. I go out, talk to people, introduce them to the program, find prospective students, and introduce them to our process.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's short and sweet, to the point.
Absolutely.
Corey?
I am Corey D. Carr. I am the vice president of I Am a Gentleman. We started this with the heart and soul of our young men in mind. And that is the short and simple of it.
Okay. Now, gentlemen, we have this particular issue as it relates to our young men. That's a lot going on. They're all knuckleheads. They really don't want to listen and so on and so forth. But I really don't believe that. And based on who you are and what you do, you don't believe that either.
Absolutely.
And so let's speak to the issue today as to how we can work on those particular misnomers and get to the heart of the matter as to what young African American men need to become productive citizens, or not only to become productive citizens, but to continue to nurture them so they can be that promising future that we are looking forward to.
Well, you know, that's a great point, Dennis. And, you know, we always fault and, you know, point the blame to the young men. But I would say it's actually the contrary. I think it's the adult men. When President Barack Obama, at that time, Senator Obama, was running for the presidency, he had a statement and a quote that he used that I just think really embodies what we should all try to model to the young men. And that was, they cannot be what they cannot see. And oftentimes, it's not enough strong adult men in our communities that are modeling what the young men should be. So, they really have turned into what they see on the local street corner, what they see in their communities, what they see that's not what they should be. So as adult men, we have prided ourselves to becoming living examples, becoming models to who the young men can be.
So now for the other aspect of the organization itself, Christian, give me more information about the organization as to what you do on a regular basis for young men.
So right now we're currently running a program called Polka Dot Socks. It's a 10-session, 20-week life skills curriculum where we go through multiple topics such as becoming an entrepreneur, understanding finances, interactions with the law, understanding respect for yourself and your community, giving back to your community. We have a few community service pieces that we do inside of the program and take the young men out to the community and teach them how important it is to give back. I think one of the most popular ones we do is called 'Tis the Season, and it's generally done on Christmas Eve, where we've selected like 9 to 12 families. Christmas Eve, we go out that evening. Everyone in the house gets a jacket for everyone who lives in the home, toys and gifts for all the kids, and a fully cooked Christmas meal. None of these people know we're coming on Christmas Eve.
Oh, wow.
So for a lot of families, we create Christmas for them because there is nothing there, because that's just, the how they say the cards are dealt to them. They may not have had the resources. So I'll give you, for instance, this last year, we went to one home and there was a young lady there that was 73 years old. She was a grandmother. Both her daughters had died and she was raising 11 grandkids and 4 great grandkids.
Oh my gosh.
We made Christmas. There was nothing there. You know what I mean? And there's stories like that. When you bring the young men into that situation, you'd be surprised how many, as people would think, the bad kids break down and cry. And they say, we even had a guy say, I remember this. I remember when my mom didn't have anything and we were sleeping on the floor. And so stuff like that, you just have to be a part of to really understand it on that full scale like that.
So change is being made.
Absolutely.
Is it slow, or is it fast process, or how frequent?
Well, so for our Polka Dot Socks program, as I was saying earlier, it's a 10-session, 20-week program. So when the young men are going through this program, they're spending 2 hours a Saturday with us every other Saturday, but then they're paired with a life coach. So someone is in their life they're being accountable to for 2 years. So even once they're done with our program, they still have someone to be in touch with, because one of the biggest issues is the lack of male presence in their life. And so that's why we pair them with a life coach to let them know somebody cares about you. Yeah.
So Corey, how would a young man find out about the program, become involved?
Well, they can go on our website, www.iamagentleman.com, and they fill out a register, and then we pick and choose from there.
Okay. And so now I'm sure that there are other aspects of the organization that are taught to the young man as far as possibly speaking.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We have an annual event that's called Project Gentlemen, where we take more than 300 young men from across the Chicagoland area downtown for 8 hours. And you have to be a high school senior, but in the course of those 8 hours, we have various seminars and workshops that they must go through. And one of those workshops are Teach Me How to Present Myself, because we understand that it's important that young men and young people, alike, understand how to make a first impression, how to make a last impression, but also how to make a lasting impression when they're presenting themselves in the workforce, when they're presenting themselves in the classroom, when they're presenting themselves in public.
Okay. And so students, is there a particular duration for the program?
Absolutely. So Project Gentleman is a one-day program, designed for high school seniors. Mm-hmm. And then Polka Dot Socks is our extended program, which is open for young men ages 14 to 21. And as Mr. Lewis mentioned, they're in session with us for 20 weeks, but they're paired with a life coach that follows them for 2 years.
Okay. And during those two years, they get all type of information as to how to present yourself.
Absolutely.
And then other aspects of life in general.
Absolutely. After the young men have gone through the Polka Dot Socks program, we encourage them to become as I would say, like junior mentors to the next group of people that are coming through. So you get to share your experience with someone who may not have had your experience yet. And even if you've gone away to college, when you come back, we want you to come in and do the community service pieces with us during Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. Because it's just good to build inside of our community that people are regularly giving back. Unfortunately, like he was saying before about the President Barack Obama thing, if people aren't used to seeing that, it's a foreign thing to them. So if we instill in you in a young age that part of your regularly scheduled programming should be giving back to your community, that's just what you build in.
Okay. What is the feedback that you receive from young men who have participated, or them being able to see or witness something that they've never seen or witnessed before?
Excited. They are excited. They are excited. You know, the funny part about it is when a young man come in, a lot of them are not willing to come. They feel like they've been made to come. But once the day go long and once the weeks go long, they are engaging. We say a pledge every time we in session, and one of the young men learned the pledge first week. Really? So for the following week, when we in session, he recited the whole entire pledge
from memory.
It's amazing.
What is the pledge?
Oh gosh, the pledge talks about, the pledge is called the Gentleman's Pledge. And it starts off by saying, because I am a gentleman, I do not steal, I do not cheat, I do not commit forgery, I do not vandalize, and I do not degrade women. And it talks about the various attributes that we deem necessary that it means to be a gentleman. Because I am a gentleman, I give back to my community. Because I am a gentleman, I reach back to mentor the next generation. And, it's important that those young men recite that pledge each and every day in and outside of the classroom, so that, as Christian said, it can be a part of their new normal.
Absolutely. And it's crazy, even though we try not to beat it in their heads, it's really important that they are reciting this pledge, because a lot of times people can be easily persuaded by like the music they listen to. When they recite that stuff over and over and over, it gets ingrained in their head. And so we need you to ingrain in your head that you're a gentleman. You're a man, you're a young man, you are a gentleman. You can change the situation around you. You can change your community just by changing yourself.
Okay. So now for the young man who has never been introduced to that particular concept, it may be foreign. Mm-hmm. And so do you see the metamorphosis? Do you see the change?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
God, yeah.
It's foreign, but it's also exciting at the same time. So we mentioned earlier about our program called Project Gentleman. That program is marketed to high school seniors. And the way it's marketed is come downtown and get a free suit for graduation. Wow. But in order to get the free suit, brand new suit, you have to stay with us for 8 hours. So most of the young men that walk in the door, they're not wanting to be there. They're upset their mama made them come. They're upset that their teacher made them come, but they want this free suit. So, they're walking in at 8 o'clock in the morning, sluggish, pants hanging down, with what they call the wife beater t-shirts on. But it's amazing to see at the end of those 8 hours, they're looking at themselves in the mirror, wearing a shirt and tie with, a pair of polished shoes and a brand new suit, and to see their self-esteem, how it has skyrocketed through the roof in 8 hours. Yeah. That's the metamorphosis that we're talking about. It's amazing.
Indeed. I'm sure that is so very rewarding.
It is very rewarding, not only for the students, but for the parents and even for the people in their communities. So these young men, they come, many looking like a thug on the street, but when they go back home, the people in the communities are like, oh my God, what happened to you?
Absolutely.
Like, I just saw you yesterday and you were looking like, X, Y, and Z. And today you're looking like a gentleman.
We even have a young man, the first day that came was from Indiana on the bus to downtown Chicago. So when people say that it's the young man, it's not, because they want to do it. Yeah. They want to do it. No one wants to be portrayed as a thug. That's not something that a person want to. When they see us in suits, a lot of them want to be dressed the way we dress. A lot of them do.
We had one young man that went through our program. After the program was over, 2 days later, he called us and said, hey, Mr. Anderson, what type of music does a gentleman listen to? Now, that was a surprising question. He didn't say, what kind of shirt does a gentleman wear, or how does a gentleman tie his necktie? What type of music does a gentleman listen to? So that let us know that he went home to say, hey, maybe I'm not listening to the right music. Maybe the lyrics that I'm reciting need to change. And it was just amazing to hear that.
That one day interaction opened up his mind to a world of possibilities he did not know existed. So it's a very rewarding thing, and we would love if you would come out too, hey, you might enjoy yourself.
You know what? It sounds, I'm over here on the other side of the console and I'm excited just listening. And I would love to participate. And likewise, I want to extend an invitation to your young men if they want to come to the radio station to see what it is that we do on a regular basis.
Absolutely.
Because that's one side of radio, maybe the beats and music, but then there are so many other aspects of radio, producing, management, just so many different things that they can become involved in that may revolutionize their lives. So I'm more than willing to participate.
Dennis, we have in fact, we want to invite you in as well too, because we have each session we try to bring in a different career. Mm-hmm. This past Saturday we had in guys that restore old cars. So that's a trade that a young man can have, because everybody's not going to go into college. Everybody's not going to go into, become a doctor or a lawyer. Working with your hands that's good money. And we want to teach everything. We want to teach our young men every skill that there is.
Alex Levesque. I'm thinking there, and I'm floating in my head.
Okay.
There's a gentleman that I interviewed not too long ago, and he restores old cars.
Okay.
And he basically talks to different guys on the street, and he drives the cars around to get their attention and say, "Hey, would you like to do this?"
Wow.
And
it was not Alex, but it was Mach 1.
Mach 1.
Okay.
Mach 1 mentoring.
All right. You know what? We need to talk to him and get him on the air.
Absolutely.
Give me a contact number for the individuals who are listening who would like to get their son involved, get more information about the organization. What do they need to do?
Sure. So all the information is on our website at www.iamagentleman.com, or they can call us at 773-531-7719.
Okay. Now, let's say that someone has a donation of suits or ties or shirts. Are they received as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. And that same number.
That same number, or you can, if you're in the Chicagoland area, you can drop off donations 24 hours a day at the Chicago Police Department located at 51st and Wentworth. Mm-hmm. All donations are tax deductible. We'll give you a donation receipt for you to itemize it on your tax returns.
Okay. What's next on the horizon for I Am a Gentleman?
3 cities, Christian.
So the 3 cities, of course, we have the wonderful city of Chicago. This year, we're also launching out in Las Vegas, as well as Northwest Indiana.
And if I can just say, I see the inquisitive look on your face. People always ask us, Las Vegas, why are you going to Las Vegas? It's amazing. Las Vegas reached out to us. And after we did our research, we found out that Las Vegas, Nevada has the 3rd highest dropout rate in the country.
Really?
Most of their resources there are, geared toward entertainment, nightlife, adult performances. And, it's not really geared toward education. So when we made the decision to, go to Las Vegas, it's because they have students too. They have young men that look like us too, and they need someone to pour back into them as well.
All right. That is absolutely incredible. And you're right. I'm thinking Las Vegas, your party town, but, okay. You go to where the need is.
Absolutely.
Where it's a necessity.
And to where the hunger is. The boys, we've run into boys across the country. They're hungry for this. Again, as Corey mentioned and Christian mentioned, it's a foreign concept. So when they're introduced to it, it's like, wow, this really does exist. Mm-hmm. I really can be a leader. No one told me that I can really become the president of the United States. No one told me that I really can be the leader of my own company. No one really told me that I could be the next FUBU.
To see a young man argue over a tie to go with their outfit, what's best suitable for them, it is amazing. Because when they walk in, they don't know how to tie a tie. When they walk in, they don't know how to put clothes together.
Yeah.
We're not just the board of I Am a Gentleman. We are personal shoppers with these young men.
Yeah.
We help them picking out suits for these young men.
It's
amazing.
It really
is.
We are definitely hands-on. We are definitely hands-on.
The accountability. Not this last session that we just had Saturday, the session before, I walked into the hallway at 9:00 because we were missing a few students, and I saw some parents sitting there, and I'm like, okay, the parents are here. Where are the students? They said they didn't want to come in the building because you told them every time they come to session they have to have their ties tied, so they're outside till they can figure out how to tie their ties. And I was like, wow. I'm like, it's not that bad, but we want you to know that we hold you accountable. If we tell you to do something, we expect you to do it. We're building that relationship with them. It's amazing.
Gentlemen, needless to say, we've run out of time for this particular segment. However, this should continue. So I want to say on the air that I want to extend an invitation to you to come back and talk about other things that are going on. Sure. And the next time, can we bring some of the young men?
Absolutely. We would love to.
They would love that.
Sounds good. We got about 30 seconds left. Christian, let's start with you with some closing words.
Feel free to go to www.iamagentleman.com. We're looking for life coaches. We're looking for more students. We're looking for people who feel like they believe in it and want to donate. Jermaine?
A young man cannot be what he cannot see. So if you're an adult man listening, make sure that you're a world changer. Make sure you're a model for that young man. That's who's watching you.
Corey?
A true man reaches back.
All right. Sounds good. Gentlemen, thank you so very much for your time, for your attention, for your dedication. And I want to extend not only an invitation to you to come back, but to let you know that the door here at Focus Talk is always open. Awesome. You don't have to knock. just come on through.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
sir.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. This is Dennis Snipe, and I would like to leave you with this. Great minds talk about ideas. Average minds talk about events. Small minds talk about people. Let your mind continue to be a great mind. Stay focused. We'll talk again real soon.
You're watching FocusTalk TV
with your host, Dennis Snipe.
Subscribe to the Focus Talk TV YouTube channel. Follow at Focus Talk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the Focus Talk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused.